All right, so time again, time for the Sunday video. So on that note, let's get started. All right, so here we are, we're back in the woods. Woke up this morning, it was 40 degrees Fahrenheit, zero humidity. It just changed just like that. And it's actually a good change because that means fall time's coming. So that means we can break out the Corporals Corner logoed hoodies. Now check this one out. Available right now on my website. We have the Corporals Corner pullover embroidered logo hoodies. Size small all the way up to 5X. Check her out. Once again, these are available on my website, corporalscorner.com, and that link is in my video description box. Now for today's video. So those that actually watch my channel religiously, you notice I go through series and themes. Last week, for those that watched the video, we upgraded a military harness with modern day gear. And I showed you where to get this gear, and a lot of people jumped on it. And a lot of the suppliers that were carrying this gear actually thanked me because a lot of you guys, I guess, told them where you saw it at. Again, I have no affiliation with them at all. In my Amazon store, you can actually put people's store front in there or their gear, and a lot of times you get like 2%, 4% of the sales. On these items, I got 0 because they didn't allow that option, but it was still good gear. So some of you guys actually told them where you saw the video and they thanked me. So thank you, but ultimately thank them, because they carried the gear. But thank you for supporting, people in America doing American things. Now, granted, some of the gear is from overseas, but you understand what I'm saying. They have a business and they're trying to support their family, so I appreciate it. And they appreciate it. Now, today, I want to show you my loadout for this harness. And then we're going to work our way into basic hand and arm signals while you move across the terrain. Now, before we get too far down the trail, we have 100 Corporals Corner skillets dropping to my website right now. Yes, you heard correctly. My website, corporalscorner.com. We're no longer on Etsy. Once again, we are no longer on Etsy. I'm going to say this for probably about 3 or 4 months until it clicks. We're no longer on Etsy. 100 Corporals Corner skillets are dropping to my website as we speak. Go to my video description box. You're going to see my website, corporalscorner.com. Once again, corporalscorner.com. Jump on there and grab yours today. We drop our videos at 10 a.m. Eastern Time every single Sunday, and skillets will drop at the exact same time to the website. It's a one and done. Corporalscorner.com. You'll see my YouTube videos right there, and you'll see my store. Click on the store and get yours today. All right, so full disclosure on this video. The first half is going to be a gear loadout. What I suggest you carry as a minimum kit for a day scout and a potential emergency overnighter. You're not out there 4 or 5 days. You're not out there building a log cabin. You have no intent on doing that. I've always taught and I've preached intent. My intent is to scout an area for future videos, or I want to see where this trail links up to. I want to see if there's a good place to fish over here. I want to look for good camp spots. In the event I am forced into an inconvenient camping situation or overnighter, I want the minimum setup for that. And I think this kit actually covers all that. So that's where my head is with this. Anything you think that I should carry or that you would carry, Leave that in the comment section. My opinion, once again, is carry the minimum. There's always a maximum, and that's up to you. And that's dictated by terrain, climate, things like that, your personal preferences. Now, the next half of the video is going to be basic hand and arm signals. A lot of people have been asking about this, and this was going to be part of the entire bug out series I had planned. We shelved that whole thing till maybe next year, but I'll touch briefly on basic hand and arm signals. We're talking about basic hand and arm signals if you're with one or more people and you want to move quietly through the woods and you don't want to be allowing your voice to travel over distances. You can do simple hand and arm signals and actually communicate with one another and actually spot game. If you saw a deer 400 yards out there and you guys are moving quietly, you could be like, halt, freeze, take a knee, I see something 400 yards away. And we'll talk about all those things individually and break them down. So let's go ahead and get started with the first half. Last week, if you missed the video, here's the thumbnail right here. This is what the harness looks like. Go back and watch that and then build your own. Then come back and watch this video. On that note, let's talk about each item briefly and why I carry it. Now, the first thing, in no particular order, is some type of wide mouth stainless steel bottle. You want a minimum of one. You got 2 pouches on there, why not carry 2? But some people like the plastic Nalgene, so if you have 1 plastic Nalgene, perfect. Have at least 1 wide mouth bottle, stainless steel. That way you can boil and disinfect water. That's the obvious choice. Some type of container that we can cook food in it. Make a cup of coffee in the big time. And then you can make medicinals as well. And you know, this one right here resembles a small bush pot, has a bail on here. You can tie it, hang it over a tripod, or hang it from a tripod over a fire. And there's a million uses for this. But at a minimum, you want 1 container where you can at least boil water to disinfect that water. That way it's safe for consumption. And being that I have 2, I'm going to carry 2. This one's well used, this one's brand new. These Corporals Corner logoed bottles should be in my website, and I believe we're dropping them today as well. I have to double check that, but I just go there and check. But any type of stainless steel, 304 stainless is probably the best for this. Any type of 304 or even 316, grab one, make sure it's single wall, not double, and have it for at least, like I said, to boil water. Now these right here are the Aquafina tablets, and you can buy them at Walmart and most stores. I chose this for that setup among all the other things I've shown you, simply because it's a space saver. I can stick it in the front of that bottle pouch, leave it in there and forget about it until I need it. The amount of pills that are inside here, or tablets, you can treat probably 100 gallons of water, which is more than you're going to consume in 2, 3, 4, even 5 days. And like I mentioned, the ongoing theme is 30 minutes. Drop 2 of these in there, wait 30 minutes, and the water's safe. It kills Giardia and Cryptosporidium. So that's always a fun thing. Next item is cordage. This is number 36 tarred bank line. It's on this plastic H-looking device called a spool tool. I don't know if they're still in business or not, but there's several of these things that look just like them. All you do is you wrap your cordage on there, 100 foot, 200 foot, and lock it off right here. They got different size pieces where you can put the cordage inside there and it holds it in place. They have a small razor blade right there so you can take off how much you need and then simply cut it. There's a small holder here on the side for a mini Bic lighter. It's always good to have more than one. And so you can take this, toss it into that butt pack or in that front pouch of my bottle carrier. Now the number 1 item, in my opinion, to start a fire first time every time is some sort of Bic lighter. It's a one and done. If this thing gets wet, you can simply clear out that gas tube, blow all the moisture off underneath that wheel, and within 30 seconds you've rescued that Bic lighter. If this falls into the water, most of the time they float and you can just grab it and retrieve it out. Next would be some type of ferrocerium rod. This thing rains sparks from hell. Molten pieces of rod actually come off of there and it's like a meteor shower. And they're like 3,000 degrees. So something like that, combination of these two, you're in business. Our third option I'll show you later is on the compass. There's a magnifying glass on there, which can be used also as basically solar magnification harness the power of that sun and actually get an ember started and then blow it into flame. Now we're just talking about solar magnification. Here's a Sunto MC2 base plate compass. That's square plastic pieces of base plate, and the compass is mounted to it. The military green ones are Kamenga compasses, and that's a lensetic compass. There's your magnifying glass right there. Now the main purpose of a compass is to walk a straight line. Now here's my take on this. You could have zero training, zero, and all you know is there's a tick mark right at the top and there's a tick mark at the bottom. I'm just going to walk east because I'm lost, and you just spin this east, or I want to walk north or south, whatever cardinal direction, meaning north, east, south, and west, whichever main direction you want to walk, put it on that tick mark. Simply lay it down, rotate it to where that red needle is inside the hollow needle. Now you can walk that direction forever. And if you were lost, you can walk a straight line. Once again, the main purpose of a compass is to walk a straight line. I enjoy being hands-free, so when I turn my head and look at something, the light's already there. And if I have a weapon with me, I want to be able to look, not have one hand trying to do this as I'm trying to look around, or it's just a pain in the ass. So whatever works for you, please carry that. This is a lead lenser headlamp. It's the MH8. Shown this for probably 5 or 6 years, and it still works. The new ones, the older ones I should say, were basically stuck on a crappy, and I want to say crappy because after about a year of use, it would start to actually diminish, but they used to come with rechargeable batteries in here, and you had to use that rechargeable battery. They wised up and allowed a AAA option. So check and see which one you have. Another downside is their charging port. It's right there. There's 2 nubs on there, and they do that on purpose, so you have to use their charger. I mean, business-wise, it makes sense. It really does, and they make more money. But if you lose that charger, SOL. So carry extra batteries. So some type of portable charging unit that works for you. Do you need this fancy solar one? I'm going to say no. I've done the experiments. I put it in my vehicle with the windshield. I put it on the hood of the vehicle, and they both seem to charge at the same rate. It takes days to fully charge this system. Do you have that option? Cool. Do you want to wait days? Most likely not. So make sure it's fully charged. And these things can explode. There's horror stories. There's all kinds of stuff. They can leak. There's all kinds of things that go on with this. There's even a small light in the back over here that you can turn on. And, you know, just pick one that works for you. And the only thing I suggest is make sure you get one that you can charge your phone or iPad 5 to 7 times. And it has multiple USB ports, so you can charge more than one device if you need to. But something like this, if you had to, and you're out there for the night, and say you had at least 1 bar of signal, you could at least try and text somebody or call somebody. If not, you can charge your phone, and when you get that signal, you can go ahead and call, versus having a dead battery and being SOL. Now I've shown this off and on for about 5 or 6 years, probably before that. And I think I carried electrical tape, black electrical tape, even before that. We're talking 10 years ago. And the main thing with a harness like that, if you're using those black metal clips that I showed you last week, you're going to want to tape those things up. I talked about it last week about how sometimes you're just walking along and they just unhook themselves. It's like there's imaginary trolls up there and they're like, "Mwah-ha-ha." It's like tink. And all of a sudden you're like, ugh. And you can feel it, and like you hear it clinging around, and or you drop it down and all of a sudden you're like, well, how'd that undo itself? Tape them up. Simple as that. Now, some people use this and they claim gear repair and clothing repair. Try sticking this to your clothes with any type of dust, debris, or anything on it. It peels right off. The number one thing I've used this for, and I've stated this over and over and over again, is a flame extender. This is not a fire starter. If I throw this into the woods, a fire won't start. You can't use this to start a fire. But I can use this in wet weather conditions, or when the tinder is damp or marginal, I can actually light this with my Bic lighter and roll it into like a small ball or cigar, or pull strips of it off, and it can burn anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes. even longer. You can burn this entire roll if you had to. Is it safe? Can you get cancer? Sure, I'll get cancer in 20 years, but I'm not dying tonight. So now I'm going to date myself. Back in the mid to late 90s, when my Marine Corps came alive, everybody carried a can of Sterno, simply to heat water up. Now, in my day, the Marine Corps canteen set that we had, the plastic canteens came with a small aluminum or stainless stove that you could place your canteen cup on there and put a small tab in there that was all laden with chemicals. And the first year or two I was in, everybody had those. Then they discontinued them because of cancerous materials. So from the next 2.5 years that I was in, there was no way to heat water. So they'd always give you coffee and MREs, but you had no way to heat that water because no one had those tabs and you're not making campfires. So at that point, you're sitting out there drinking cold coffee, and some people were so desperate they'd actually put it in their lip and use it like dip just to get the caffeine element. But, you know, it was like, this is stupid. We have this, but we can't use this. So simple fix, can of Sterno. Now, it's very difficult to boil water with this. You can do it, but it's going to use most of the can. However, you can heat something up and eat it. But most importantly, you now have a guaranteed way to start a fire in raining conditions. All we got to do is open this up, grab some of this gelatinous gel, looking like napalm, put it on some sticks, light it with open flame or a ferro rod. Boom, it's going to burn, dry all that stuff out, and keep burning. So in a way, you have a guaranteed system to make fire all year round. Now, these are the new MREs. And I want to say 2024 to now, they were phasing these out in 2024, and effectively 2025 and beyond, they're making MREs look like this. Now, I have an MRE video. Here's what it looks like. Go back and watch that, and I explain the date codes, how to determine what year that MRE is actually from by looking at the date, as well as the packaging. It's a 2-for-1, and they continued that same theme. The packaging started changing in 2024. It's fully taking place in 2025. And again, it looks like this. Now for the date code. Right here on the side, it says 4269. The first number is the year, 2024. 269 is 269th day of that year. So it's towards the end of 2024. They have a 3-year shelf life. I don't care what your drill instructor told you in 1988 or 1995. They have a 3-year shelf life. Now, can you eat them beyond that? Yes, you can. Has the nutritional content gone down? Yes, it has. Could you get sick? Yes, you can. Is it possible to still eat it? Yes, it is. But the government and the supplier will only guarantee this for 3 years. So 3 years from 2024, 2027. The best part about this is they've condensed the larger bags, which we're at about right here, down to this, that can actually be now shoved into a butt pack, and it's a space saver. Everything's inside here, just like a large bag. It saves room, and in my opinion, it's about damn time. So simply put, pick a meal that works for you. I know for a fact this is one full meal for one person. Again, my intent was to have a day scout. Maybe eat this for lunch or for dinner. If I'm stuck out there inconveniently camping, I have half of this for the evening and half for the morning where I can walk out. So pick a meal that works for you. Pick something that's going to have some type of nutritional content, and that will give you the energy you need to get back on that trail, shoot your azimuth with your compass, and walk out. Real quick, we can talk about signaling. This is a 3x3 Shamag. It's 100% cotton. Be aware, there's several on Amazon, and I bought some that they say are 100% cotton, and they are not. So research them, find out the ones that are, and only buy those. You want something that's going to give you contrast, meaning this time of the year, everything is green for the next month and a half. So I want something that stands out. Once all the leaves are gone and all you see is gray bark, and you want to get a green one, so be it. But I prefer to use some type of red or orange all year round. That way I can place this up in a tree, wander around, go as far as I want. As long as I can turn around and see this, it's a marker or a waypoint, I can walk right back to it where my camp is or all my gear's laying at, and never worry about getting lost. You can also use this to make a sling, place it over a water bottle, get all the debris strained off from a creek or a pond. The list goes on and on and on and on. So why not have one? You can stuff it full of leaves and make a pillow out of it. So again, place it over your face, keep the mosquitoes or bugs away. Again, the list goes on and on and on, just like duct tape. Next, we have some type of chemical light. This is a miniature light. The full-size ones are about that long. And I'm saying one of these because if you were lost, you could actually break this and tape it to a stick or a tree, throw it out into a field, and anybody with night vision, this is actually going to stand way out. It's going to see that bright light and go, oh. So you can see this with night vision. The gray background, the bright white light is going to be right there. And if people are looking for you at dawn or dusk, they can home in on this and say, he might be over there. Worst case, you can mark a latrine. That way in the night, you walk over there, you're not going to fall into some poop trench, you know, if there's more than one person out there and you're camping. Or you can simply mark your camp with it. So if you go down and do your business, at night you can turn around and go, oh look, there's my camp, and not wander off somewhere else. So last but not least, inside that butt pack is going to be some type of shelter system. You can make an A-frame, lean-to, or even plow point shelters. Simply place it over my body and continue hiking during the rainstorm. And that butt pack is actually big enough with all the gear that I'm actually carrying to fit 2 of these inside there. One for your body, one for a shelter, or one for some type of browse bag stuffed full of leaves or debris to get you off the ground in the cold months. Now, worth its weight in gold. Any type of poncho that has grommets sewn into them, meaning these little rings right here, that's 5 by 7, will work. Now, I'm adding 4 plastic tent stakes. Again, those that follow my channel, you see me take these plastic stakes and shave them down and process them out like fat wood and use them to start a fire. Why do I want tent stakes in the woods? Someone's gonna say, well, I can just make them. You can. But if it's dumping rain and I know I'll be soaking wet in 2 minutes or less, do I want to put a shelter up that I can get up in less than a minute? Or do I want to stand out there, find sticks, carve sticks for tent stakes, meanwhile I'm soaking wet now, screwing around? I don't want to do that. If it's an emergency, you don't want no thought process. You just want to do, and you want to do what you're trained to do. Now, last but not least, I want some type of pocket knife. This is not in that pack, it's on my body, but I showed you a Bic lighter that wasn't in that pack, it was on my body. So why not show the knife? This is a Swiss Army knife, one-handed trekker. They no longer make these, but I rotate between this and my Ranger grip from Victorinox. So one-handed means your thumb goes in that hole and you can open it right-handed, or you can open it on your left side as well and get that thing opened. Push that lever over, and it closes up. You have a saw in here, screwdriver, can opener, bottle opener, toothpick, tweezers, etc. But if you had to cut an inch, inch and a half, or even 2-inch diameter logs for some reason, and here's my take in an emergency situation, do you want nice clean cut logs? I'm gonna find a fork in a tree or 2 trunks like this, and I'm gonna break pieces off and just light them on fire. If I need something for a shelter, if I can break it with my foot, I'm gonna do so. If not, I'll put a stop cut in there, probably about anywhere from 1/3 to halfway through, and then just break it off. And it's one and done. But carrying some type of pocket knife to do 90% of your tasks, worth its weight in gold. So why not carry one? Now, in addition to this, you can carry a full tang knife, which means the blade passes all the way through that handle. And that's always a plus, you know, 2 is 1, 1 is none. But at a minimum, you want some type of pocket knife. All right, so that's the first half of this video. The next half is going to be the basic hand and arm signals. Now, I'm going to reiterate, this is from a military manual called the 6-5, and I used this manual in the 90s. I'm quite sure things have changed. Some have not. I don't care what you did over in Iraq in your unit in 2010. That's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about moving to combat. We're not talking about, going out there and crossing a danger area. We're not talking about any of that stuff. We're talking about if there was, more than one person, because if you're doing hand arm signals to yourself, might be something going on upstairs. Just put that out there. But more than one person, you want to communicate with that person to just do basic movements or looking for other people or game, deer, etc. If you're tracking some big game, these might be helpful to you. Now the first hand and arm signal is going to be the signal for halt. Let's say you're moving through the woods. You got somebody to your left or to your right or directly behind you. You see something or someone and you want to stop their movement and yours immediately. Halt. Palm facing forward, simply raise it up. Halt. All movement stops at that point. Once again, halt. From here we have a side view. Halt. I want my arm to the side of my body so everyone behind me can see it. Halt. Now, I've ceased all forward movement at that point. We haven't ceased individual movement. We want to cease everyone from actually moving around, looking around, scratching themselves, making any type of noise at all. How do we do that? We freeze. Halt, freeze. Halt stops forward movement. Freeze stops individual movement. From here, we want to get down and take a knee. So from halt or the freeze position, simply open your hand and move it straight down. That means take a knee. Again, from freeze or halt, open it up, get down. From this position right here, all forward movement has stopped, everyone's frozen in time, and everybody took a knee. If you want everyone to get down even further into the prone position where you're laying on your stomach looking outward, you get down one more time. Now this is the prone position. You're down. If you look out, all the bushes and foliage are actually above my body. Anyone or anything down there were to look this way, they're not going to see me. So we're in the prone position. Now, how do we get back up? Our palm down meant get down. Turning your palm upward means get up. Up. We've recovered or we've gotten up from the kneeling or prone position. Now we're upright and we want to continue down that trail or continue stalking that game. How do we move forward? Our palm is up, turn it outward, and simply move it forward. And now for the million-dollar question. What if we're out there and we actually see someone or something? From here we were halted, we froze, and we took a knee. I'm looking outward or outboard. I have a partner either to the left or to the right or behind me. I see something or someone 200 yards. Now before you step off, you want to discuss, does one finger mean 100 yards? Does one finger mean 50 yards? Two fingers mean 200 yards? And so on and so forth. Once you've established that, you can now take two fingers, place them into your eyes. If your partner's to the left, you want to make sure they see you. If they're to the right, same thing. If they're behind you, turn around. Then simply give the number of fingers for that many yards. Then do this. Bring them to you. Simply point where it's at. I see you. So that right there is about 7 or 8 different hand and arm signals that I tossed in as a bonus. So I suggest go out there and try these. Try that with your hunting partner, grandkids, friend down the street, anybody you hike with or fish with, just in case if silence truly is golden and you need that advantage to sneak up on some game or get out of an area where somebody else is at and you don't want to talk. You can also make up your own. They're fun. And when you make up your own, that's the best part because they're unique to you and your group. And just like every single language, there's a code. This is a basic code. Anybody can go get a Marine Corps 6-5, learn that code and know what you're saying. If you make up your own thing, someone might see you, but they can't crack that code, have no idea what you're saying. And that's the best part of this, is you can shoot, move, and communicate, and the other party is at a disadvantage. So I suggest, if you haven't seen that video, once again, where you make your kit, go get that, make one, carry some version of those items that I showed you, and simply go out, do the dirt time, learn some hand and arm signals, and spread the knowledge. Other than that, don't forget we have the 100 Corporals Corner skillets, as well as cup and bottle sets, and logoed embroidered hoodies dropping to my website right now, and that link is in my video description box. Now I'll address this. I said this for the past 5 years, and most seem to miss it. If you're not getting notified on YouTube, and you're not being notified, have no idea when gear's dropping, it's because you're not on my email list. Go to corporalscorner.com, get on the email list. That way you're not going to miss a notification. Now I have a phone app coming. It's going to take 1 more week to get it done, and then you'll have a second way to get notified. So if you're not on my email list, you're already wrong and you're missing out. So my suggestion, instead of hitting me up on Thursday asking about skillets or cup and bottle sets, get on the email list and you're never going to miss a notification ever again. On that note, let's go ahead and get out of here. All the gear in my videos can be found in one spot, my website, corporalscorner.com. And once again, that link is found in my video description box. Now please do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button, then ring that notification bell. Once you ring that bell, please select all notifications. As always, thank you for your comments, views, and support. Thanks for watching. Get out in the field, have some fun. I'm going to catch you next time.